Yes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome out to the Pod of War Gamescast. I'm your host, Gizmo, joined this week by Massive Das, Chris McGilly,
Hello, everyone.
and of course, Mr. Game Pass, Craig Warren.
Hello.
So, boys and girls, another week of our lives, closer to Christmas now. I know we're all excited. Christmas
hell
sandwiches,
yeah.
by the way, were in Tesco today, so I was very excited to get my first Christmas sandwich of the year.
What did you go
Christmas.
for, Dave?
I went for the turkey and trimmings to start the year off. There will be
Classic. Yeah.
a Christmas sandwich ranking system that me and my partner are working on. I mean, I've also started getting into coffee, boys, which is probably a chat for another day. But I had a nice mocha at work today, and I was
Oh, I love a mocha.
yeah.
It's an addiction that just doesn't give up, Dave.
It's a slippery slope.
It's brutal.
It's a slippery
Yeah.
slope, and obviously now I work in an office as well. Like it's even worse. Like I'm literally
Yeah.
next to every coffee shop in Taunton, so I was just like on the way to work, coffee number one, straight in there, got a mocha, sat there, did my emails.
To be fair, Taunton is about 3/4 coffee shops at this point as well.
You
so.
don't really realize
Yeah.
until you actually start drinking coffee how much coffee.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else here, but there's no Starbucks in town anymore, which is a joke because it's my favorite one.
Mm.
But anyway,
There's a drive-through somewhere, don't there?
there's one
Yeah.
out. But
Yeah.
this is not the coffee chat. That's the next week's podcast. We're going to talk about video games. So let's start off with. I think we start with Craig. I love to hear from Craig. Craig, what have you bought? What have you been playing this week?
So last week I said it was much of the same, and this week, boys, it's much of the same. I'll be honest. It's been more Deathloop. I just had a look on True Achievements. I am now, according to True Achievements, 13 hours and 49 minutes in. I keep working through the visionary leads. I can't remember exactly how many I've completed now. I want to say 5 or 6 out of the 8, and I think the ones I haven't completed, I'm like halfway at least on most of them. So I'm definitely getting through the actual core of the game now. I'm kind of getting more excited as well to see how it actually all ties together once you've done all the leads, and you can then like actually finish the game. I assume in the the big final glorious run. Um, so yeah, the more I play it, the more I'm enjoying it. The more abilities I get. I've still been kind of mainly been like stealthy, assassin-y sort of guy who I do stealth for a bit and I just decide to murder people. But I do kind of want to play it a little bit because there's some of the abilities you get which are just like pure murder abilities, like no stealth, like just guns blazing. So I kind of want to try doing some runs where I just don't even bother stealth and just use those abilities and just see what the game's like, trying to go like that way instead. But yeah, that's all I've played. It's just more Deathloop. Maybe get it finished this week, possibly weekend off next weekend. So it's a chance.
Yes, and obviously we're going to talk about stuff you want to play afterwards, Craig. But nice. I mean, Deathloop is one of those that I still would like to try, and I have it installed on the Xbox, so I will probably give that a look at some point. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it ranks in your Game of the Year discussion as well, Craig. We'll talk about that when we get closer, because we love the shenanigans that is the Game of the Year chat. So, Pengy, usually you can be relied on for this section. So, what have you bought and what have you been playing?
So I jumped in because you mentioned it on the last podcast, the Forza Horizon 5 10th anniversary stuff. So I did both for like the story chapters because it has one where it looks back at the previous Forza games where you would drive a car and sort of have a setting of this is trying to be England, this is what we're driving. Like the McLaren Senna because that was the cover car of Forza 4 if I remember correctly.
Correct.
I think that's what. Yeah, so it's like that, and then they've got another story with like one that's got 9 things, which is like trying to promote Mexico, and it's like we've already done this, and like let's do it again, but it's like slightly different. So done both of that. Haven't touched the midnight battles, which you've got to unlock through street races. Haven't done any of that yet. So back to some Forza. It's great. It's more Forza, which is never a bad thing. So
How have you found the achievements so far of the new ones that you've added?
yeah, pretty much the same as like the previous were like do the story, get 3 stars and all the story stuff. There's no like get to A to B in like 10 seconds in a beach buggy sort of achievements.
Nice. I know you've bought other things, Pengy. So, what else have you bought?
I haven't bought, but I've played some Plague Tale Requiem. Play some of that. I'm on chapter 4, I believe, of that. It's obviously very similar to the last one, which me and Craig both liked. So it's very much, the first couple of chapters you haven't got like your slingshot, so it's very stealthy. And it's introducing the mechanics again. So you get to like chapter 2, and you like, oh, you get your slingshot now. This is how you use it. That sort of thing. There's one scene with a lot of rats and a lot of rats on screen, so you can go, that's especially why it's like current gen only, because that is a lot of rats on the old screen. But yeah, if you didn't like the last one because it was too stealthy or whatever, then you're most probably not gonna like this one. But so far seems good. It'd be interesting when the story's gonna go as well, because it might go a bit too supernatural. Which I'm not sure if that's going to turn out well or not. So some of that. And then been playing, and I bought on Steam, but not playing it on my Steam Deck. But I'm playing it on my laptop, Football Manager 2023.
It's so nice to get the game of the year just before Halloween, isn't it, Pengy?
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, obviously, I will talk about Football Manager as well, but me and Pengy are both doing the Taunton Town Challenge
Yeah.
because it's my hometown club and it's a town close to where Pengy lives. So
Yeah.
we're doing that. It's the first time they've ever been licensed in a video game, which is very, very exciting. I know it's for people who watch this probably aren't massive football fans. Maybe a few of you are, but like when you're from a small town that used to play in what I can only describe as a village league, for them to be fully licensed on a video game, especially a video game you love, is so cool. So I know me and Pengy are both enjoying that. We'll probably have a big rant about it once we finish our first season. It's in beta right now, so
Yeah.
we're going to give everything a bit of a slide until till it comes out of beta. I'll be honest, by the time it comes out of beta, me and Pengy have probably done about 5 seasons. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
When's the actual proper launch date of
it's
this?
2
8th
weeks.
of November.
Yeah, it's 2
Ah,
weeks.
okay.
And that obviously is coming to Game Pass. They're also doing the console version for Game Pass, which is actually vastly improved this year. So it's a lot closer to the main version. So, for example, Craig, who's not an absolute addict like me and Pengy are, if he doesn't want to load the laptop up and play deep Football Manager, he can play the Xbox edition and then transfer to the Xbox edition on PC should he wish. But I would recommend, if there's a year, Craig, for you to do it, I think you do the Football Manager challenge this year. Give it a go. Completely free on Game Pass. You've got a laptop that's more than good enough to run Football Manager. And
No, I mean, I've played some of the older ones a few years ago. I would normally do the classic thing at first, start with Arsenal, and get a little bit bored, or get like too addicted and be like, I need to stop this. So yeah, I mean, I'll definitely it's just, as it's on Game Pass as well.
Game
When it
Pass and
comes out,
achievements is like trust me, it's a dangerous mistress for Football
Mm.
Manager because it's even more of an excuse when you're like,
yeah,
well, I've not paid for the game, and I'm getting achievements for it, and I'm getting Game Pass rewards for it because it's a Game Pass game. You know what I mean? So just the keeps adding up. But yeah, is that it for you, Pengu? Have you played anything else, or is it just a wait for the calm before the storm for all the games that you I know you're going to buy?
Yeah, the calm from the storm, really, because that's about, I think that's it. I think that's all I've played and bought.
Lovely. Well, it's my turn, I suppose. So, in terms of bought, I have purchased a used copy of The Order 1886, which I never finished back in the day. So, I want to finish that up and get the platinum.
I wonder why you want that. Oh,
Yeah, well, it's a game. It's an actual game for a platinum. It's one of the few that Chris has actually done. So,
isn't it quite a short one?
it's about 8 hours for the platinum.
Yeah, not too bad.
It's not too bad at all. So, it was one of those. It was about £3, and I thought, you know what? It's a game that's already on there. I'd like to get that percentage up. I don't think I've bought anything else in the time. Let me check. Other than that, obviously, I've bought Football Manager as well. I've just talked about it, so you don't need to hear more ranting about Football Manager. As for what I've been playing, I'm still playing on Rush. I have 5 trophies left. 5 trophies left to get the platinum before the servers go. I think there's 2 really grindy ones that I need to get done before the servers go. The rest I could do afterwards if I wished, but we'll probably try and get all at once. I think it's probably going to be another. I think I've played for 15 hours. I think I've probably got another 5 to 10 to go. And it's hard. It's a lot of co-op stuff that's just easier in co-op, but you obviously I can do it on my own. But yeah, still a great game, and I wish that they weren't shutting that down. As for Platinums, I did a very short, like 2-minute video on the channel actually of Donut County, which I now have the Platinum for. I really enjoyed it. It's a very funny game, a puzzle game. It's like Katamari Damacy. And it's just a silly little game. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't an expensive game, so Platinum number 41 done. Pengi's shaking in his boots at the thought of me getting to 50, and it could happen. I think it's going to be tight, but I do believe in myself. The problem is if Football Manager takes over.
Yeah, because I did look at Platinum, a rather crazy game, and I spoke to some experts on it, and they don't think it's possible. Like, even they haven't got one of the achievements / trophies, and that's Destiny 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those
sold everything about that, Christ.
Yeah, but it's
I'm
one of
only
those.
missing 3 trophies. That's the thing, and the platinum. But one of them is do Grandmaster Strike, is it? And like they haven't even got like that, and they're like, yeah, you need to do this. They're like, yeah, we're playing plenty of Destiny, so we can play plenty of Destiny with you, but you're gonna be playing it for like 2-3 months to get like the level up and all that malarkey, and then being able to do it. Like, they've had goes before apparently, and they've not done it. So
yeah, we do still need some suggestions for mine and Pengi's number 50s, because I would like them both to be good games. I don't want Pengi to be rat leaker in it. I think he's done enough for that account only Pengi. So please, if you have ideas, let us know in the comments, because neither of us have really got an idea yet of what number 50 is going to be. We could even do the same game if it's fun enough, but we'll see. And the only other thing I have been playing,
maybe there's a game coming up that could be
maybe, and then we'll talk about games we want to buy in the next topic, Pengi. But the only other thing I've been playing Persona 5 Royal on my Xbox. It's just come to Game Pass. I've talked about many times wanting to finish Persona, so I think if I'm going to, this is the best chance. And I will say the improvements on Series X are pretty helpful to actually getting this thing done, because the main bonuses, Pengi, are
the
load times are ridiculously fast, and it's 60 frames a second. So it's kind of the same as people talk about Yakuza Like a Dragon, in that game is a slow, long ass game with lots of cutscenes and story bits, but the load times were so good on the new consoles that it kept you invested enough. Like, you weren't waiting around too much. And I can already tell this port of Persona 5 Royal is done the exact same. Like, I'm already halfway through the first dungeon. I played for about 2.5, 3 hours last night. Really enjoying it. I've done the first dungeon about 5 times, so I'm literally just trying to get through it. So I know all the story beats. I just want to get through it so I can start enjoying the game fresh again. But yeah, if you're on Xbox and you have any interest in RPGs in any way, like, and you have Game Pass, like, just you need to try it. Like, it's probably the best game that's come out this year on Xbox. Like, I love Ni no Kuni, and I've been enjoying that as well. That's a much more difficult game, which is weird because it looks like it shouldn't be. But yeah, Persona 5 Royal is a 10 out of 10 turn-based JRPG. Like, there isn't anything better than it. Like, I think for Craig, I don't even know if it is too anime, because I don't think it's as anime as Scarlet Nexus, and I think it's probably about as good as Yakuza Like a Dragon in terms of the story. It's kind of similar in a weird way, but yes, really enjoying Persona. I would love to finish Persona this year. It will obviously slow my trophies down, which is maybe the main reason why it doesn't. But yes, Persona 5 Royal on Xbox.
Yeah, you should stay playing Persona.
It's cute that you think I can't play 3 games at the same time, Bengi, but yeah. So Persona's great. That's the long short. So that's all we've been buying, what we've been playing. So we're gonna do this week's gonna be a very short episode. It's basically a bit of a catch up about what we want to play, what we're looking forward to now, because it's like we said earlier, it's the calm before the storm. There's lots of previews for games at the moment, and obviously we are not pressed, so we don't have them. So let's go back around to Craig. Craig, so between now and New Year's Day, what are you looking at playing? What's on your to play that's out? What's on your to play that's coming to Game Pass? Is there anything you're going to pre-order? Is there anything you're going to ask for Christmas? So let's just talk games. What are you looking forward to playing?
I can't remember the last time I pre-ordered the game. In all honesty, so I doubt I pre-order anything. I think the only thing I might buy that I can think of off the top of my head that I definitely probably want to buy is the Callisto Protocol in December.
Yeah.
Obviously that's a little way away. So it'd be a lot of Game Pass between now and then. Obviously, Plague Tale I will jump into straight after I finish Deathloop because I absolutely love the first one. And then there's quite a lot of like indie games that seem to be coming on the old Game Pass at the moment. The stuff that's already come out, like Tinykin, I want to go back to. Metal Hellsinger came out a few weeks ago to Game Pass, and I never even started it because I was so busy playing everything else. I want to play that one. And there's some smaller stuff coming as well to Game Pass, I think, like is it Gungrave Gore, I believe, which is a Pengals game. Comes out near the end of next month, I believe.
It comes out
22nd of November. I've just
Yep.
Googled.
Yep.
So that's one that might come out at like perfect time for after I finished Plague Tale, in fairness. So yeah, it's basically Callisto Protocol probably at the end of the year, and then between now and then, lots and lots of Game Pass.
Is there anything on your backlog challenge you still have to get to, Craigo?
Oh, there is, but the chances of it are you know, the window is closing.
It's
I guess.
closing in these games. Is there?
Yeah, it's I can't remember what have I got. So I have Lost Judgment, which I still really want to play, but it's probably a good 30 hours I would have thought. And there's just so much coming to Game Pass. That could be when that finally makes it to Game Pass. Maybe we'll play that. Prey again, really want to play that, especially after playing Deathloop by Arcane. But again, I believe that's a 30-hour game, so that's tough to fit in. It Takes Two, possibly, maybe, could be completion number 50.
We still keep threatening to do it. It's on the
Yeah.
list. We just need. I think we should literally. This sounds awful, and I don't even want to say it because I know she listens to the episodes. But we just need a weekend where my girlfriend is so busy, I've got no choice but to play games. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
maybe her like playing football in like Dean or something.
Yeah, she's got when she gets on a massive away day to Newcastle. But
Yeah.
but again, I let's be honest here, I get lots of time in the week, so I'm just making excuses. So if you're listening, dear, don't worry. I won't force you to not come just so I can play a game with Craig. But yes, I mean, I'm very interested to see. I think this year is probably going to have a Game Pass Game of the Year in our Game of the Year discussions, probably for the first time. I just think there's been that many that we have to do it. And obviously, it's trying to get around Pengals' rules about games that came to other platforms. So I'm very intrigued for you, Craig, to give me the Game Pass 10 for you this year. Very excited to see that. Looking forward to hearing about Scorn if you ever get to that. But
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do want to go back and play, but like
you got High on Life coming as well. I quite like the look of, and
on the list, it's got some other stuff ahead of it. Let's put it that way.
yeah, and even for me, like if Persona's 120 hours, so it's like if that gets done, then there's not a lot of time for much else, is there? So yes, nice. Right, Pengy, what about you, mate? I know obviously you are Chris Pengelly. You've got the pre-orders in, you've got backlogs galore. What's on your little list for between now and New Year?
Loads, Dave, loads. There's
Give me
always plenty.
Give us
It's
some
like,
highlights, Pengy. Give us 5 games that you think that you really want to get to.
right, so it's coming this Friday and it's Bayonetta 3. That's gonna be, quite a big one. Because see it breaking into like my top 10 of the year. Bayonetta 2 is like my favorite Wii U game. We've waited 6, 7 years for the third one, so
Yeah, I think 7.
which is actually weirdly a shorter amount of time than the time between Bayonetta 1 and 2, but it feels longer. Weird thing, yeah. So there'll be that one.
Yeah.
Okay, the Dave.
The spicy pizza is as
Oh.
I said to Chris off air, I made the mistake of buying the Morrison's Halloween pizza, not realizing Scotch Bonnet was on there, Craig. So yeah, feeling it a bit now, but it's okay. I mean, like, it'll be alright until it comes out the other end, I think, and then I'm in real trouble. But yeah, Pengals, carry on.
Yeah, Pokemon. It's a weird one to like give the answer to because we all know what it's gonna be like, and like we both didn't like Diamond and Pearl that much, the remakes, but then Legends was so good this year, so it's gonna have like that happy like medium of the like sort of two. Plus, other like I know other people in work are going to be playing it. I know like the trade Pokemon and like the chat about it. Like even going back to like Destiny 2, like talking to people about that, and that's a game from like 5 years ago or even longer than that. So talking that around Pokemon is another thing. What else am I looking forward to? God of War, Ragnarok. I sort of get it's a weird one because we've had all the previews and it does sound really good. But I'm also just like, just waiting like next year, like in the summer when I get my PS5 for Final Fantasy 16. I'm like, I'll just pick God of War up then with it, sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, your break on the PS5 is just a matter of when. So it probably makes
Yeah,
sense
it's
to
the
leave. Yeah,
Final Fantasy
it probably
16.
makes sense to leave God of War. I mean, you never know. There could be a deal after Christmas, and you see, you're like, you get one in work, and you've got your double discount. It's chaos, Pinky, chaos.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't seem worth getting it on the PS4. Like if you know you're going to buy a PS5 like
Yeah,
fairly
like if you can
soon.
avoid the spoilers, which is I think is maybe my
That's
hardest
the
thing,
problem
they've already
because
leaked, so it's
yeah, I haven't seen any leaks like stuff, but you saying like I think it's the same day or the day after Gotham Knights. I like seen in a thumbnail like in a YouTube thing spoilers like right away, and it's like it came out like 24 hours ago.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean, I'm
yeah,
obviously I'm the youngest among us mentally, so I'm on TikTok. I saw spoilers for God of War and for Gotham Knights. Like, didn't even look for them. They just came up on my feed, and I was like, oh,
yeah, so
that's the main God of War boss fight with the main thing, and then that's the ending to Gotham Knights. Lovely,
mm,
lovely, and
yeah,
the House of Dragon spoiler as well. So that's fun.
that's lovely.
Basically, what you boys are saying is don't ever make a TikTok account and you're fine.
Basically, I mean, I only follow it for the Talk and Town TikTok, which is hilarious. But yeah, it's other things have crept into it, sadly.
Yeah, so that's my one worry with God of War. It will get spoiled between like now
Yeah,
and like summer next year,
I could see
which
you buying a PS5 fairly early next year. I wouldn't bet on it because obviously you'd not buy it to spite me, but I could see if certain other games got dates, I think you would break just so you had one.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like once all the Final Fantasy games have got dates, for example, I think you're
yeah.
going to be more likely to be like, you know what, it only takes one more big Sony announcement, one big Sony showcase of this game is coming and it's coming in the summer. You'll be like, well, if I see one early, I'll buy it because I want to be ready. So, and of course,
Yeah,
when I take over you on trophies, it will upset you a lot. So,
yeah. Plus, like we don't know when Silent Hill was coming. Silent Hill 2, that I mean, remake.
yeah, we got all the horror, and then we could do a whole episode about the horror games that are coming and the horror comeback apparently. There's about 6
Mm,
horror games that have come back this year that are announced. So Craig's eating
yeah,
well. I'm not eating at all,
no,
which is quite upsetting. But I know 3D platform is coming back, guys. But yeah.
yeah. So and plus we don't know when Silent Hill is coming. So I don't know. Crisis Core is obviously December, so that's that's gonna be great. Get that on the Switch. Because it's Final Fantasy. We got got the theme coming here, and then I'm not sure what else. Definitely something that's crazy with Game Pass. You got Gungrave Gore, like I like the one I played on PS2, but we've had like 3 generations since then. So who knows? Like you got that Penman game coming to Game Pass. That's mostly going to be fun. Yeah, that's about it really.
Nice. So I have
Mm.
another question, but I'll ask you guys once I've done my round of. So in terms of what I want to play, a lot of backlog stuff. Obviously I'm playing Persona. I've got 9 games to finish on PlayStation. So that's probably going to take up the majority. Am I going to do Am I going to do mostly games under 10 hours? Yes. So there's that. In terms of stuff coming out, I really want Call of Duty. I really, really want to play Call of Duty, but it's whether I can't afford it, so it's whether I ask for it for Christmas, which I know is funny because I'm 32, but like it's one of those where if I probably will get a game for Christmas, I think it probably is going to be God of War or Call of Duty. I think it might be Call of Duty, to be honest. Game Pass wise, I think really it's next year that I'm quite excited. I'm excited for Starfield. I'm excited for the Fallout 4 patch that got announced today. I'm excited to play Persona 4 and 3 again. Yeah, quite excited for that. Crisis Core I do want, but not enough to pre-order. Need for Speed Unbound is another one that goes into the I could ask for it for Christmas category because it does look really fun. But I am just going to wait for previews, I think.
Plus, that's going to be on EA Play.
Yeah, so it's just waiting it out, and that's the thing with racing games. Is like I love racing games, so it's one of those. It's like, do I wait it out? Do I, I've got Gran Turismo 7. My brother's let me. I've got plenty of Forza, because even if I finish everything in Forza 5, I've still got Forza 2, Forza Horizon 2. I'd like to finish. I've still got. I would imagine the Forza Horizon 5 next round of DLC will get announced fairly soon, for probably the summer again.
I can see that be like a Game Awards announcement from
Yeah,
Xbox.
potentially. Like, I mean, the last one came out in July. So I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility that it could come out March, if maybe even this year, but I don't think that's likely. But I'd
No,
love
I don't
love
think
it
it'll be next year.
unless it was unless it was winter themed, because there was only a month between the announcement of Hot Wheels and it coming out. But this is very, very, very far fetched dreaming at this point. But
I can see it being like January DLC because isn't Forza Motorsport supposed to be spring?
yeah, I mean, that's
like
going to be
March.
summer, isn't it? There's no way. I don't think. I think that's going to be June. I'd love it to be earlier because that would be a great game for me and Craig to lose hundreds of hours in. But yes. I'm also, I've got like I said, my backlog. I still need to finish Halo Infinite because obviously I've been holding out for co-op for Craigie, but obviously that's not forthcoming at the moment. I have the Grand Theft Auto trilogy on Xbox that I want to get to. I'd like to pick up Cuphead, so I'd like to get that as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be a mostly backlog time for me over the next 3 months, and then we'll see. Game Pass could be a thing. I think Starfield is probably the next massive game I'm quite excited for. Like, I could see myself losing so much time to that game if it does end up being fun. But yeah. The next question I have is a much smaller question. Hardware. Is there any hardware we've got our eyes on, boys? So what I mean by hardware, I don't mean consoles specifically, because I know Craig doesn't. But controllers and stuff like that. Is there anything?
I forgot I did buy a controller this week.
It's fine. We talk about it. You can show that on air. We should do an unboxing for new controllers, really. But yes. Now I sort of temper this with Craig, because obviously I've watched the most recent Xcast, and obviously the Elite 2 has the kind of design lab thing now. Does that interest you for a new controller?
Not really. If they did any limited edition stuff for games, I would buy that, definitely.
That pipe dream you've got, it's never happening.
Yeah, obviously I've got the Forza one and the anniversary one. But yeah, I don't really, especially I don't really like have any big interest in the elites nowadays. Just 'cause I don't really play that many like first person shooters. I don't really, there's not really a lot of need for them.
Do you think this is a loaded question, Craig? So sorry about this. Do you think if you ended up in the next sort of 12 months getting your own place, do you think that would influence? And I say this because this is purely because I've lived on my own before. Once you get that living room and you have your sofa and your big TV and you have your shelving and stuff, like sometimes it's quite nice to have a couple of controllers on show. Like sometimes you're like, well, actually, I'm going to play online a lot more because you're at home. You're at your home. Do you think that kind of thing could happen? Maybe interest you? Again, this is just purely for the sake of conversation, really, the hypothetical.
Oh, what, into an elite?
Yeah, like or even just like another
would...
group of controllers. Like, if you're like, well, actually, I've got the 20th anniversary edition on display on a shelf, and I've got the one it came with. I'd quite like another one. Like, whether would you go out and get maybe a plain design lab one where you make it yourself and you go, well, I'll get CW Lanky in the Arsenal colours or something like that.
Probably not. I probably like I said, any limited edition ones that you can actually buy, I would definitely get. As long as they're not like silly ones like the Duke one and stuff like that. Didn't they? Last generation,
the bloody Looney Tunes one.
Yeah, I think didn't bother with that. But yeah, I mean, the elite is just I just don't play enough like competitive shooters anymore. I think when I got the original Elite, I was in the middle of my like Overwatch addiction. Like I was playing Overwatch,
a
ridiculous amount back then. So anything to get an advantage and kind of enhance that was it made the silly price tag, whatever it was, £150, whatever the Elites where about then, not seem so bad. But when you're just playing your story games and your forces and that, it's like I don't need a fancy elite controller.
Would Forza Motorsport put anything in your mind?
Oh god, no, I don't want a
No,
racing wheel. God no,
not even a racing
no,
wheel.
no,
So
no.
I mean more the elite for the paddles.
To change gears.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember? I'm very casual now. I'm an automatic guy.
Just trying to. I'm trying to tease it out of you, Craig. Obviously, there's no other hardware you're buying. There's no way you're buying a PS5. There's no way you're
Oh
buying
god no.
anything more. I mean, I don't even. The Switch makes it another year. I'd be amazed with you.
Oh, but the Switch. I mean, the poor Switch hasn't been turned on in a long time.
The
I mean,
Switch is.
the Switch. It's had its PS4 moment
Yeah.
where it had its few months, and now Game Pass has just crushed it into nothing.
The Switch's only hope for you is if you've got your own place and/or a girlfriend. That's the only
Well,
way
the
that
problem,
it stands a chance of living.
the problem is, it's like, do I like go to the hassle of buying something and then like loading that up, or do I just play whatever's on Game Pass? And Game Pass is always going to win that argument. I don't. In terms of the only way I can see me buying new hardware is if the Steam Deck gets some like proper Game Pass support, and then obviously I would be going on because I'm pretty sure you can get them pretty much instantly now, right?
Yeah,
There's
you
no
can
more
order
of
them. You can order
the
them now.
nonsense you had to do before. So like if that got announced like tomorrow, the Switch would be going bye-bye and the Steam Deck would be getting bought. So yeah, that's where it is in terms of hardware.
And I suppose the last hardware question for you: what about a special edition Series X?
Ooh, see, I've tried that before with the Halo one.
The Halo one I always see, by the way, for about £100 more than RRP if you buy it secondhand. Like if you buy it in
Yeah,
like if you go into like CEX, I've seen them in CX Taunton for about 530 for the Halo ones.
yeah,
Would that
I'm
tempt
not
you?
about that
No?
life. No, God no. So yeah, I mean, if they did a limited edition and it's somewhat easy to get hold of, maybe.
Like a
But also, I
four.
don't know how much like secondhand Series X's go for now. Because obviously back when I was looking for the Halo one, I could have like bought the Halo one for RRP and then probably sold my Series X at like a tiny profit or something. So it just would have made sense. It
Yeah.
depends what the Series X kind of the resale that is now.
It's still good, but like I know, like I've got all my consoles and like games listed on price charting. Like my Last of Us PS4 Pro is worth more than my Series
Yeah,
X.
so is my I've got the that blue Days of Play PS4.
Mm.
That's worth way more than my Series X. But more than the Series S, mind. The Series S it was, oh god. I think my Wii U's worth more than my Series S, which is quite funny. That's why I sold it to my brother. But nice, Craig. Well,
Oh,
I'm in,
I will add to Craig. I've got a
yeah.
question, Craig. There's been rumors recently of a Pro PS5 and a new Series hardware. The new Series one again because of the naming, Series S, Series X, blah blah. And I expect the TV thing's going to be called the Series TV or something like that. Would a new Xbox Series XR comes out November 2023? Would that tempt you?
Oh, what like the
Like the
Basically,
Series X Pro. Let's just use
yeah.
it like that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I bought the One X last gen.
And you only play on Xbox, like so it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, and I bought the One X and sold the one. And the thing is, when you do like when they do those like mid gen things and you sell the system that you're using before, it doesn't turn out to be like that much of a big kind of financial investment. So it's like, oh, you just want to do it.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if they did something like that, I would definitely buy it without hesitation. I'm sure.
Nice. Nice. When are you getting some Xbox merch, Craig? That's the question.
Oof,
So
Game Pass is the only merch you need.
when's the Xbox hoodie coming?
I mean, I saw Chris Mengele wearing an Xbox hoodie the other day, and I was
Yeah.
shocked and in disbelief.
Yeah.
Apparently, Chris actually owns an Xbox as well. I'm told. But anyways,
Yeah.
so that's some of the same questions for Pengy. Obviously, Pengy, we've already talked about the fact you're going to buy a PS5 for Final Fantasy, so we don't have to talk about that again.
Well, yeah, but I say PS5 for Final Fantasy 16 summer 2023. Obviously, the rumors, like I was just saying to Craig, the rumors of a PS5 Pro and a next series console. It's like could just wait till like no November 2023 and hope the PS5 Pro is a thing.
Imagine. It is crazy to think that you haven't had a PS5 for the majority of this gen.
Yeah.
You've wasted your time. Obviously, your hope is for a Switch 2, right? Switch
Yeah,
Pro.
Switch 2, Switch or Switch Pro.
Yeah.
It just it does like the Switch Pro just seems weirdly weird now because March next year the Switch will be 6 years old.
Oh, we've lost Craig.
Yeah, so the Switch will be 6 years old next March. So like thinking, oh, we're just gonna get a Pro Switch. I know, like the 3DS, we had the new 3DS, and that lasted like 8 years. So I can see a Switch Pro like extended life bit, but it's like
It feels a
a
lot like the
Switch.
Wii, doesn't it? Everyone was talking about the Wii
Yeah,
HD for about 10 years, and then the Wii U
yeah,
came out about 10 years later. But
yeah, yeah. So I was like, oh, if the Switch 2 seems to make more sense, but then I was like, does Nintendo want to like, oh yeah, obviously Breath of the Wild's announced for Switch, but they like, oh Mario Odyssey 2 is only on the Switch 2. I just can't see Nintendo doing that. I think there's just too much money to be on the current Switch. So a Pro would be, I guess, more likely. Which I can see it coming along with Breath of the Wild 2. Like here's the Switch Pro. It's gonna run at maybe 60 frames soon. There's on like a Switch Pro or like it's actually 1080p or something, and like the regular Switch is like 30. I don't know, but yeah, Switch Pro.
Right, so what about? Sorry, God, those bloody Scotch Bonnies, boys. What about controllers for you, Pengy? Because I know obviously you're a sucker for a specialist controller. You said you just bought the new Xbox Blue Camo controller, I believe, which actually is quite a sexy little controller.
Yeah, I picked
I
that up
still think
because
the
like
Xbox makes the best controllers. By the way, I don't think that's even a discussion at this point. In terms of to look and to buy, obviously the DualSense is a great controller, but
yeah. Controller wise, it's unlikely because obviously we're not getting new DualShock 4s. For like for the PS4, that's what I got now. Maybe if I had a PS5, it could be counted by the God of War one or something. Maybe Xbox again. It is much like Craig. It's if they do any, like I could see them doing one for Starfield, for instance. Maybe one for Motorsport. I'm not bothered about either the Elite or the Edge.
oh God, I forgot
Switch.
about the Edge. Jesus.
The Switch, maybe because I do buy, like I have both Monster Hunter Pro controllers. I didn't buy the Splatoon one. I guess if there's a call, maybe for Breath of the Wild 2 again. I can see that getting a Pro controller. Maybe not Joy-Cons because I just don't use the Switch enough handheld. And then I have my like Hori Pro split pads as well because they have the Skyward Sword Joy-Cons that look really nice, but I'm never going to use them. So
I suppose the last question for you, Pengy.
yeah,
PSVR 2.
yes. What about it?
Does it do anything for you?
Um,
Because you did
Not
love
really.
PSVR.
I did love PSVR.
Do you think there's a chance
I
where
thought this would be a nailed on.
Well, it's
I'm
one of
surprised
those.
there's any hesitation.
I feel like if
personally. I
there's
thought it'd
a bundle, that's where I feel like you could be bought a little bit.
Right, I think the problem is obviously I got to have a PS5 to buy a PSVR
Well, this is what I
2.
mean. So if they were like, well, okay, you buy a PS5 and the PSVR together, and you save £100, for
God,
example.
imagine how much that would cost.
Yeah, but
It's
this
going to cost.
Dear Lord.
this is Chris Pengelly.
Oh, I know that is, but that
It'd be
is
about £1,000 for that bundle, I think.
Yeah,
It'd be
yeah, because I think the
999.99 for that bundle.
because I think PSVR 2 will be
400 plus, easy.
Yes, most probably based on the
that's
specs it's
insane.
got.
Easy.
Due to its specs. 'Cause the Oculus Quest, Meta Quest 2, I think is now like 400. It went up in price.
Yeah, this
They put it up in price, and I think that's 400. And the specs of the PSVR 2 is
Which one
better
did you have? Which
I
one
had I had the Quest 2, which
Right, okay.
it's now gone up 100 quid since I had one. It's now 400 for a Quest 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think PSVR is going to be £500 at least, and what they'll do is they'll bundle it with 2 digital downloads to make it seem like it's a deal.
I think they're going to bundle Core of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain and maybe like an Astro Bot game. I think that or something like that. I think that's what
I
you're
don't know
gonna.
if that-
That's what I think
Yeah.
you'll get. But I think it will be a 500. You won't be able to buy it on the same, but it will be £500 minimum. I think it could be £600. I honestly think it could.
Oh, that is going to be such a niche thing if it's that much money, because
Yeah.
that is such
Well,
an
if they're
investment
going
for
to put the
someone.
PS5 up now,
Mm.
and they've already made all the controllers are expensive. Like the new controller coming out is £210. Their Elite controller.
Yeah.
I mean, VR is much more than a controller, isn't it, to make?
Yeah.
So.
And you got you get the two controllers of the VR as well, and obviously you got the headset and stuff like that, which again is like I'm saying, the only comparison I can really make is I know you got the Quest Pro coming, but that's £1,500. But comparing it to the Quest 2, and that being 400, you got to it's 500. It's just it's a lot of money.
Sony literally doesn't give a shit, do they?
I feel
They'll
like
charge what they want for everything.
if you're an enthusiast, I guess like obviously it makes sense. But I feel like for like curious people who just want to like try it, like the cost of VR at this point, you're saying from all the platforms, is just like it's crazy. Like
Well,
if you were just like, oh yeah, I just want to dabble a bit, like
Mm.
you ain't like spending like
no,
£600
and
pounds, are
that
you?
was really the main appeal of the PSVR 1, is that it was about 350 for a bundle
Mm.
with games and stuff, and that's why I was tempted. The fact that the PS VR2 is not backwards compatible kills it for me, because there's quite a lot of PSVR 1 games that I would actually quite like to play, and I've looked at that headset a lot and been like, well, I'll just wait for the second one. It's gonna have less wires, and I'll be able to play all the games that I've claimed, and all that's good. Now that I know you can't, it's like, well, it's even gonna be less to play. Like, there's not gonna have the 10 PSVR 1 games I actually quite wanted to play as well. So it's like,
Is
oh
it digital only as well? I assume.
No, there'd be
no,
games in.
PlayStation.
Oh, there's physical games as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah,
but
that'd be physical. Yeah.
PlayStation are stupid. They want to charge £70 for it. So if you put it in a disc, they can. But they did that with PSVR 2, PSVR 1, sorry, and that was a good way to do it. But yes, lovely. Well, Pengy actually.
I'm just obviously trying to think of any other hardware, like
Yeah, I mean
either
you're
pro consoles. I don't know, 'cause I just don't use my Xbox enough to warrant getting a
so I
series,
suppose
a Series X
so I
R or
suppose
whatever it's
a
called.
Pengle's only
But
question, Pengy, is there
yeah,
anything you're likely to sell this year?
not that I can think
No,
of.
because the Xbox for me, I've been long standing with you that I'm surprised it's still there, considering that
The
you just don't use it.
the Xbox, I could with Craig's thing for like if they do a new Xbox. Well, here's the Xbox Series XR in November. I'm trying to think what would come out next. I don't know. Avowed, let's say. Oh, Avowed's coming. This is what it's going to look like on the new Xbox. Well, I can still get 200 or good for mine. The new one's 550. Okay, I'll sell mine and pay the 350 or whatever. I could maybe see like that case of selling the like Xbox or something. And same with the Switch. Like, is the Switch 2 or Switch Pro in April with Breath of the Wild? Well, I'd sell my Switch for the new Switch.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm most probably saying that I wouldn't sell my PS4 for the PS5. I would mostly keep them both just because the value of the PS4 is going up. So I just keep it for like that for collecting.
My parents actually use my PS4 as a DVD player at the moment. That's what
Nice.
my PS4 does. Nice. Well, I suppose for me, this will be the last part of this. In terms of hardware, I mean, I'm not going to buy a new console. I have everything that I want.
Steam Deck.
I'm not going to buy a Steam Deck. I'd be tempted by. Actually, I wouldn't be tempted by an upgraded Xbox or an upgraded PS4. I'm more likely to buy a big TV. That's probably the honest truth. I don't have a 4K TV. It's the two biggest complaints I have about Xbox is that one, it doesn't recognize my HDR on my TV because it doesn't understand that it's 1080p.
Mm.
The PlayStation has no problem, and Sony makes TVs, so I know this is why. So they know that there are 1080p TVs that aren't 4K that have HDR. My HDR has never worked on my Xbox because I don't have a 4K TV, but I have a HDR TV. So that's like one minor gripe. So I want to buy a 4K TV, and the achievements don't have a platinum. That's the two things that Xbox don't do right. Everything else I think they're better than PlayStation 4. So that's probably likely. I want a new controller. I don't know what controller, whether it will probably be a Design Lab controller, but whether it's the Elite 2 or it's the personalized controller. I would just like, I've got a black one and a blue one at the moment. I would quite like a third one, for no other reason, but I like controllers. But yeah, Switch. I mean, if I could be bothered to sell my Switch, I'd sell it. It doesn't get much use out of me. It gets the odd JRPG twice a year, but it just doesn't. Like Craig said, it just doesn't. Everything is just better on the other consoles. To be honest with you, like, and I've kind of run out of the cycle of playing the Nintendo games. Like, I need a couple years off. Like, I need probably like 10 years off again, like I did before the Wii U came out. But yeah, PSVR obviously absolutely not. There's no way I'm spending that kind of money on a VR. I don't have my own home at the moment, so it would be pointless. But yeah, for me, I think I'm just going to play a lot of games next year. I have my Game Pass subscription is paid up until 2024, September 2024. So I'm pretty much locked in that most of my games are gonna be Xbox Series X games. So if I do get the new TV, I can see me moving away from PlayStation for most third-party things, because my main gripe is the lack of HDR. It does annoy me. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for you, definitely a new TV would be much more worthwhile than like an upgrade in terms of
I totally
hardware,
even
wouldn't it?
forgot about like a new TV.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I have such a use case because like I said, the TV I have is so unique. It's a beautiful TV, the Samsung TV I have, but it needed at the time it needed to fit a small space. That's why I bought a smaller one, which was 1080p, not 4K. When I get my own home, which will happen next year, then I will be buying a 4K setup, and I will be buying the cinema speakers. Like my basic hardware for next year is just improving what I have, as opposed to getting anything new. I have it. Like I said, I have everything I want. I love my PS5. I love my Series X. So it's like that is fine. That is absolutely fine. I can just make it better. Like, I'm really excited to play Forza Motorsport next year. I'm really excited to play that in 4K on my nice beautiful HDR screen. I'm looking forward to playing that with speakers, and I'm looking forward to looking forward. I'm probably going to buy a new headset. My Xbox headset is long dead. I mean, I bought it with my PS4. That's how long that headset has been going. Like, the materials all coming off the thing. I think, would I buy that Pengy August 2015? I think I got my PS4. So like,
Yeah.
this headset has had a good run on Xbox. So I will buy a new headset probably. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to our New Year resolution episode. Is very interesting because I think I'm going to have a lot of different things I'm planning to do in terms of playing, and obviously I'm just interested how much Game Pass Craig's going to play. Will he buy more
Endless.
games?
He's gonna play endless Game Pass. Like
I
the
think
only stuff.
I think he'll buy more games next year than this year, but I just think there's more Craig sequels coming next year. I think there's like Jedi and the horror games and stuff like that. There's just
And
more of them
the
this year.
Yakuza were not
There's like
like a
eight.
dragon that
There's
should
like
kill.
there's like 8 Yakuza games and all. There's Craig games coming next year. Whereas this year is much more
There is
muted, I
Assassin's
think.
Creed, Mirage right now.
Oh,
And stuff.
Craig hasn't played Assassin's Creed for a little while, so
Maybe that's the one he gets back into.
I think Craig's going to become a full weeb next year, and it's going to be just JRPGs for Craig.
Yeah,
That's
could be.
heresy. Absolute
Yeah.
heresy.
Lots of Warhammer games.
I just thinking of just like any weird stuff,
I'm sure
because
you'll find
I
it.
like, like the weird consoles, like the play date still tempts me, but it works out being
We've
like,
got like the Evercade XE, like the Evercade
yeah,
Expert you could get. I mean, some random stuff for your Steam Deck perhaps, but who knows with you, Pengy? That's the honest truth. Obviously, it's always exciting for us to see what shenanigans you get
yeah,
up to with your
yeah,
wallet. But
maybe I go full PC gamer and get my 4060 or whatever.
there wouldn't be a bigger mistake made in world football than you buying a custom-made PC, Pengy.
No, I mean the gaming laptop was a fail in itself, wasn't it? So a gaming PC would be.
Hey, you say that I've already put like 10 hours into Football Manager.
God, but I play it on Mac, so what do I know?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's another interesting episode. But we've managed to eke 50 minutes out of no topic, so well done, boys. But yes, let us know in the comments what games you want me and Pengy's 50th, what game Craig and 50th, what hardware and games you're looking forward to, and yeah, just a general have a chat. But it's been a lovely episode, and we will see you next time.
Bye.